Hello, my dear children. Hope you all are doing good. Welcome back to the social science class. Let us continue with the second chapter in history, that is, the extension of the British rule. So far in this lesson, children, I have explained to you about the Anglo Maratha Wars, that is, the first Anglo Maratha War that was fought between 1775 to 1782. Then I've explained to you about Lord Wellesley and his policy of subsidiary alliance. After that, I've explained to you about the Second Anglo Maratha War that was fought between 1803 to 1805. Today, I will be explaining to you about the Third Anglo Maratha War, the Anglo Sikh Wars, and about the policy of doctrine of lapse introduced by Lord Dalhousie. So pay attention and listen to the explanation. The Third Anglo Maratha War was fought between 1817 to 1818. So, as you have already learnt, children, the differences of opinion and the clashes which was going on among the Marathas gave a chance to the English to interfere. Okay, but the Maratha families, they tried their best in order to protect their independence and honor. Even the Peshwa, he tried to free himself from the clutches of the company. You have learnt in the Second Anglo Maratha War how the Peshwa entered the subsidiary alliance system by accepting the Treaty of Bassein with the British. So then the Peshwa, he attacked the British residency in Pune and burnt it down. Appa Sahib of Nagpur and Malharrao Olkar rebelled against the British, and they were very badly defeated. They were suppressed. Okay, these brave men, Appa Sahib and Malharrao Holkar, they tried to fight individually against the British, but they were suppressed. Finally, Peshwa Baji Rao II fought against the British at Koregaon and Ashti, and finally the fact was known that he won't be able to defeat the British. He had to surrender to them. So the British abolished the Peshwa post and granted a pension to Baji Rao II. And what they did, these Peshwas, no, since they tried to fight against the British, they said, no, this post only we will remove. And they gave a pension to Baji Rao II. And they made Pratapa Simha, who was the descendant of Shivaji, from Shivaji's family, they made him as the ruler of Satara. Okay, and they named him as the traditional leader of the Marathas, and thus they kept the Marathas under their control. Now let us understand as to how the Britishers completed their agenda of ruling the entire India, how they consolidated their power, that is from 1818 to 1857. They were successful in occupying many states like Sindh, Awadh, and other smaller states in North India. Now, let us see how they occupied the regions which belonged to the Sikhs. Actually, in Punjab, there was a lot of political disturbances taking place. That is, after the death of King Ranjit Singh in the year 1839. So the British attempted to invade Punjab. Breaking the pact, the friendship agreement was done between Punjab and the English. Okay, they had with the king who was before the earlier kings, no, an agreement was made that they would not attack them. But the English broke their promise. In December 1845, a war broke out between the British and Punjab. Sensing that there was danger from an outside force, all the Indians, that is, The Hindus, the Sikhs, and the Muslims, they got together. They understood now the Britishers are outsiders and they are trying to occupy many of our Indian territories by defeating our Indian rulers. Therefore, they felt that it is a danger. Therefore, all these Indians, that is Hindus, Sikhs, and the Muslims, got together in order to defeat the British. Finally, they had to accept defeat because among our Indians only there were some who were traitors. Means what? Though being Indian, they supported the Britishers. They signed a humiliating Lahore Agreement in the year 1846. So, with the British resident became the de facto ruler of Punjab. So, like this, the people in Punjab, they were forced to sign the insulting Lahore Agreement in the year 1846. Okay, so like this, Punjab became the dependent state of the East India Company. The Sikhs, they opposed the attempts by the British to rule Punjab directly. Many individuals like opposition was held by Chattar Singh Athariwala in Lahore and Mool Raj in Multan. Again, the people of Punjab were defeated. Finally, Lord Dalhousie merged the state of Punjab with the British Empire. So, children, Britishers were very strong. Individually, it was just impossible to fight and defeat them. So, if the whole of India had come together and fought against the Britishers, means we would have got independence much earlier. We need not have to wait till 1947 because they were quite strong. Now, let us study about Dalhousie and the policy that was introduced by him, that is, doctrine of lapse. Lord Dalhousie, who arrived in India as the Governor General in 1848, he made an attempt to integrate or bring together the Indian princely states with the British Empire. He adopted the policy of doctrine of lapse, whereby the adopted children of the Indian kings were refused of their right to throne. What is the meaning of this? According to the policy of doctrine of lapse, if there was an Indian king who dies and then he is not having his own children to ascend the throne, then their adopted children did not have the legal right over the throne. So, usually, what happens in monarchy, children? After the king dies, his son comes to the throne. Now, supposing that particular king did not have children, he did not have son, then they will adopt children, no? So, that adopted children were not given the right to become the next king. So, by introducing this policy, many states, princely states like Tara, Nagpur, Sambalpur, Udaipur, Jhansi, Jaipur came under this policy. That is, these regions were occupied by the British. As the Governor General knew the conditions of these states, he used this policy of doctrine of lapse as a political weapon. So, on the basis that the adopted children had no right to inherit the throne, therefore, these regions will go under the British. You understand? So, like this, with the severe implementation of this policy, not only the princely families, even the ordinary people who were sympathetic to the kings, they rebelled against the company. Naturally, the people were upset with this. They were very angry even with the kings. Actually, they were not angry with the kings, they were angry with the Britishers or the East India Company, which forced the kings to accept this policy of subsidiary alliance. Therefore, the people were sympathetic to the kings. They rebelled against the company. Their love for their kings and the sense of loyalty, it added more fuel to this rebellion later on. So, this finally only resulted in the Sepoy Mutiny of 1857, that is the first war of Indian independence. So, with this, I end this topic, children. Hope you have understood. Watch the video, children, and also go through the points from the textbook. Thank you. Take care.